speaking of where's your head at, I am joined by Hozier. How are you doing? And sorry, I'll stick your mic up. Let's do that. Let's do that one more time. Hozier, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Listen, where's your head at? Speaking of which, I was there a little bit earlier on. There must have been, anecdotally, about 15,000 people out there at the main stage to watch you. How are you feeling after that? Because that's a serious buzz. Come on.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I haven't had too long to decompress, so it kind of is. It is a shocking sight to see, but it's a good feeling. I think I'm still processing that.
Do you feel any pressure then? Say, obviously, Take Me to Church and Sedated, or one of the three singles, Eden as well. Do you feel pressure to get one of those out? Because nobody knows any of the stuff off your forthcoming album.
Yeah.
Do you feel any pressure to kind of get one out before you have to start saying, no, everybody, hang on, stay, I'm gonna play one of the big ones in a minute.
Yeah.
Because you did wait a while.
I did. I actually, now that you mention it, because I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, we very cheekily didn't play those three singles until the end of the set. Well, I mean, Take Me to Church was probably the first one we played of those three. I don't know. I mean, I'm always surprised. We have a few YouTube videos up of other songs and stuff. So sometimes we get great, get a good reaction out of a song like Someone New or something like that. But no, I'm very lucky. I was very lucky. People stuck around.
They stuck around shouting, "Take me to church" constantly from the very minute you got up there.
Glad I had my ears in.
So listen, I mean, seriously. One thing I want to get out of the way as well. When you came in, I said, "Do I call you Andrew or do I call you Hozier?" And then you offered me Andy as well. But that's a very small, very small group of people. But you don't really mind, do you? It's not strictly Hozier.
I mean, it's funny. Like my second name was my nickname in school, so I was Hozier in school. So there's a very few people that still call me Hozier on a personal basis. They don't know me as Andrew. But Andrew, Hozier. Either way, I will respond.
Will I just call you Symbol?
Symbol.
We'll
do a Prince on it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to call you Symbol for the rest of this.
Yeah.
But seriously, how are you finding the anticipation for your album, the 19th of September? Like it is the most anticipated debut album I think that has ever come out of Ireland.
No,
and I say that was. You name one that was bigger. You two, I wouldn't say they'd built up such a head of steam at that point. I really think this is. And how are you finding that anticipation? Personally,
I think the secret is not thinking about it, and hearing things like that make you force you to think about it. But
you can't ignore
it. I think blessing and a curse is that I don't spend a huge amount of time in Ireland, and I've been touring a lot for the last 6 months, and when I get home, that's the most shocking times, and I realize people are invested in the music and people are listening to it here, and I don't get to experience that. I get to experience a few moments of it, like doing a show here today. So in that regard, I think I'm lucky that my head is away from that thought.
What was it like doing David Letterman and Ellen DeGeneres and those kind of programs? Because this has happened very fast for you, relatively speaking. You're 24?
24, yeah.
24. So this is... Surely you have had moments of kind of hang on a second.
Yeah, there's moment. I mean, I am so busy, and I'm not one for sitting around going, this is great, and pat myself on the back, and because I feel like I have a lot of work to do beyond this album, and but there are moments certainly where you take stock of even just being signed by a label is a very big deal for a musician, and a lot has happened in the last year for me. And yeah, David Letterman, I found out about doing the Ellen show a day, 2 days before doing the Ellen show, and you have no choice. You can't freak out. You just have to do it. You know what I mean?
You just have to walk into the fire and
do it. Yeah, and you might burn.
Well, yeah, you could burn. You could burn.
Yeah.
But luckily you haven't. And I know this is stuff you've probably talked about already, but for people who may not have heard you speaking in person, when Take Me to Church became played every 15 seconds on the radio, what was that like for you? Because you would have been living in Ireland at the time.
Yeah, at first, yeah.
It's an extraordinary song, and not necessarily a song that would fit in with today's kind of pop kind of spectrum of music.
Yeah,
what was it like?
It was very rewarding. I think I didn't hear that song being played on the radio. Maybe I avoided it. I didn't hear it until I was sitting waiting for a dart somewhere and hearing it being played in the office of some dart station, which is a funny experience. And I certainly, when I started recording that in my attic, and I never imagined it would end up on radio, certainly, or get the support that it has gotten. So that's a special moment, I think. Yeah, hearing your music played back to you.
And how do you find doing this kind of stuff, media, You comfortable with all that kind of stuff?
I was never good at talking about myself, so
I get that impression from you, even by your physical body language. There's not. You're rather to sing. You don't like sitting in front of a microphone and talking about yourself in some kind of psychoanalytical way.
Now you have me even more conscious of the fact that I'm.
Don't think about your body. Don't think about it.
It's easy talking about the work. It's easy talking about the songs because that's what you put in. But you never consider that you might be sitting down chatting to people about it. So it is something, again, you just have to get used to. But talking about myself certainly is not something that, I have been comfortable with all that much in the past.
Because like you certainly haven't reached a point yet, which no doubt you will, where people will be delving into your personal life, and they'll be, the magazines will be writing about this and that and all that kind of stuff. And do you think you'll be able to handle that kind of thing? Have you found any? Has that happened to you at all in any way so far?
No, not a huge amount. No, thankfully. And I'd like to keep it that way, obviously. But of course, I think there's enough of myself expressed in the songs for anyone to really know too much details. But I know it happens. It's just the nature of the beast now at the minute, and certainly in the last, it's just the way the media can be, and it's well, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it, I think.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's loads of bridges you can burn. You haven't done any of that so far. But do you feel like, the way pop music at the moment, the world we live in is very, very, very pop music, certainly in terms of what's very out there on radio and television at the moment, that you would seem to be running against the tide of all that. Do you feel part of any of that world, or do you just doing your own thing, and that's who you are?
Yeah, I think
you're not informed by what's happening now.
Yeah, I mean, I never listened to top 40 things, and as a teenager and stuff, I listened to the music that moved me, and that was blues music and folk music, rock music. I know it feels that way, and a lot of people can feel like that there's an oppressive influence of this pop is just so ubiquitous, or that it's just everywhere. I think it's a matter of exposure, and I think when people are given the opportunity to be exposed to other musics, everything can be appreciated. There's so much music out there, but for me, I think I made a conscious decision. I don't know if it was a conscious decision, but just to write music that reflected my influences, and music that reflected the music that moved me, and in hopes.
Now that wasn't the Venga Boys.
That was not the Venga Boys. Yeah, I reached a point where I could write a song about, that am I going to dance on a bus and wear short shorts, or
well,
quite.
You never know. You never know. I tell you, S Club 7 are getting back together. They used to be called S Club 4 when they were missing a few members. But I don't know why we're talking about that at this point. But listen, all I can say is, advance congratulations, because when your album comes out, it is going to be a tsunami in terms of a record, and the anticipation is palpable. And I'm afraid, Andrew Hozier Byrne, Andy to your friends, and Hozier to your inner circle as well, you're going to just have to deal with that tsunami, sir.
I hope so.
It'll be a pleasant one, though. I'm sure
so.
It will. And thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of the lecture picnic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You too.
Take it easy, man.
Thanks.